Hey sculpture class, today we're going to talk about your first project, which is using paper. Alright, so three-dimensional art. Sculpture is a three-dimensional form of art, and the materials that sculpture artists use can include metal, wire, wood, glass, found objects, nature, or paper and books. The artist to the right here is Andy Goldsworthy. He's a really famous artist that uses natural elements to create more like exhibits within its own surrounding. What are we going to make? You will learn how to manipulate paper and then create a visually appealing sculpture out of paper. You're going to learn about folding, tearing, cutting, crumpling, rolling, weaving, and much more. This project is for you to experiment, so there's no wrong way to manipulate paper. So I want you guys to really think outside the box and experiment with the paper that you're given. The artist to the right here is Stephanie Sue Chozamakra. You can look her up on Instagram, but I thought this was like super cool and intricate. I'm not expecting this from you guys, but if you bring it, more power to you. Just want to kind of give you another example as to what artists are doing with paper. We're going to watch this video real quick on another paper artist. Alright, so 3D paper sculpture techniques. A few are listed here. You can roll paper, loop, curl, zigzag, fringe. You can create triangles, squares, rectangles. You can do pleats, you could do spirals. You can create cones, funky folds or crumples, twisting, envelope pockets, tearing, weaving, slots, and poking holes in the paper to create some texture. I would recommend grabbing your Chromebooks after I finish this when you guys start to experiment and going back to these slides so you can kind of see on your own screen what these look like, and you can keep that screen up so you're trying different ones. Materials available to you. In your materials bag, you're going to have paper, cardboard, glue stick, pencil, and a sketchbook. At the end of each class, you'll put these materials back in your bag. Your project will be placed on a tray that will be given to you and put back. Please keep in mind that the paper that you're given is the paper for this project. So I'm asking you to kind of be creative within the realms of what I'm giving you. I'm not giving you guys extra paper or extra cardboard. You have to use what is in your bag. And you cannot share with someone else. There's no trading. All right, on your table, you will have scissors, rulers, and a masking tape. And these materials will not be shared between peers, but they do need to be sanitized at the end of class before returning them to the table caddy. Process. You're going to sketch out an idea of what you want your sculpture to look like. It could be realistic or it could be abstract. What you might find is your idea might change once you start to experiment with the paper manipulations, and that's okay. Artists never create exactly what they thought they'd create the first time around, but getting an idea down on paper does help. It also allows me, like if you guys have an idea, instead of trying to verbally explain it, just do a quick doodle or sketch and get down on paper, and visually I can kind of see what's inside your head. You're going to decide the shape of your cardboard. You're all getting rectangles, but that doesn't mean that you have to stay with a rectangle. You could create a different shape. And then this will be the base of your sculpture. So you're going to attach your paper manipulations onto the board to build up a structure made out of paper. This sculpture can be more like freestanding, so which means something that sits on a table or on a surface. Or you could create a sculpture that you would want to hang from a ceiling or hang on a wall. So there's definitely some options when it comes to how this sculpture could be displayed, and that's totally up to you. You're going to wrap your cardboard in paper so the color of the cardboard is not showing. You'll then write your name on the back of the cardboard and then practice various techniques of paper manipulation. And then you'll begin your project. So this project and all projects in here are experimental. Try different techniques, try new things. There's no right or wrong way here. However you see it best working, and then also be mindful that maybe the first thing that you thought of how something could work or would look might not always be the best way. So you can try again. I don't want you guys kind of getting stuck and saying, well, I wanted it to go this way. I'm going to keep fighting with the material. Just find a new way to do it that might be easier. I expect that all students will show creativity. You're going to be displaying at least 3 different types of paper manipulations. So even if you really enjoyed the weaving or what that looked like, you still need to choose 2 other ones to add to your sculpture. You're going to build up the paper manipulation so it becomes 3-dimensional. Your sculpture will be well made, and it's going to show good craftsmanship. So there shouldn't be a lot of tape seen, the glue shouldn't be seen, and it's not messy or falling apart. It looks nice and put together. Next, I'm going to show you guys real quick how to wrap your board with paper so you can get an idea of how to do that. So I wanted to show you guys real quick how to wrap your cardboard in paper. It just gives the base of your sculpture a little bit of like a cleaner effect so you don't see the cardboard. And this is the first thing you're going to want to do to make sure that any other pieces that you make, you can go ahead and attach them to the board. So what I'm doing is my board did fit inside the paper, so I'm just placed it in the middle, and then I'm making sure that when I wrap it, it's as tight as possible. You'll notice here that I'm having to cut the corners because there's that extra paper. It's kind of like if you wrap paper, you want to cut some extra paper away to make sure it's not going to bunch. You're going to see live time right now how I'm problem solving as I'm doing the video, trying to see the best way to do it. And for this side, since I already attached it to the board, I'm having to kind of cut a little square away so that my corner is nice and neat. From here, again, I'm trying to make it as tight as possible on the board, so I'm really kind of pulling the paper without ripping it, and then really pressing down that tape to make sure it's nice and secure. The masking tape is not crazy durable, so you want to make sure that you kind of press it down and smooth it out so that it sticks really easily to the paper and then also to the cardboard. On these other 2 corners, I'm just cutting so that I'm kind of creating like a slit, so it's going to be easier for me to fold later on. And again, I'm pushing that cardboard back before I fold over the next piece of paper. You will be sharing the tape. So what I would recommend is pulling off a bunch of pieces of tape or a few long strands of tape and stick them to your side of the table. That way you're not having to share every time you have to grab a new piece of tape. The tape's already there for you. Alright, so I'm making sure that tape is around all parts of my paper so it's nice and secure. And the last thing you're going to want to do is write your name on your board. Just in case it doesn't fit back in your bag, you can put it on your tray that I'll be giving you guys. But just to kind of make sure that you don't mess up and grab someone else's by accident, you can go ahead and write your name on it. All right. So the front of the board looks really nice. It's nice and neat. There's no creases. It's nice and flat. So those are kind of things you want to try to achieve when wrapping this board. Ideally, it's okay if there's a crease or two because you're going to fill it with your paper manipulations anyways. Your dimensions. So sculpture should stay within these dimensions in order to ensure it won't fall apart, but also so that you finish on time. So this is a very rough idea as to the size of your sculpture. If it's a little smaller, then that's okay, but any taller than 6 inches or wider than 12 inches, you're probably going to have an issue when it comes to the weight of the paper versus the paper itself and the strength that it has. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, in your timeline, so today is day 1. You're getting the introduction and demonstration, distributing of supply bags. You're going to sketch an idea and cover your cardboard with paper. Day 2 is going to be to experiment at least 5 different types of paper manipulations and choose 3 or more for your final project. And then you can begin your final project. Days 3 through 5, you'll create your project, and on day 5, you'll finish your project, take pictures, and submit them to Google Classroom assignment. You'll also create or fill out a Google form that's like a self-assessment as well as a self-reflection when you submit your pictures of your final project. All right, so I understand that I'm not showing you exactly what I want you to create, and that's exactly done purposefully. It's not my job to create an idea for you. I'm giving you parameters and I'm giving you materials, and it's your job to come up with what you want the project to actually look like. You need to be creative. You need to experiment and kind of play around with the material and the different manipulations before just jumping right into creating a final project. So I'm really looking for you guys to be independent, but of course, if you have questions, you want to kind of talk out some ideas, that is definitely what I'm here for. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys make, and here's to our paper sculpture.